welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
So it is good to actually see Tisha, stand up to Marsau for a change. I was like, where has this Tisha been all this time? Bring her on. Yeah, bring her on. Well, I've got into my inquisitive crew. Let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And before we dip into that, can I just say I hope everyone had a lovely new year. Happy New Year. And I hope you guys had a great festive season if you celebrate Christmas. And that this year, all your dreams may come true. Anyway, back to the show. So I thought it was interesting this week because it was really about Stormy, wasn't it? It was quite a lot about Stormy and her family. Now, I would have been, I'm kind of slyly interested, but not super interested. I feel like if they picked up this storyline a bit close to the time when the whole mix-up happened between the sisters, it would be a bit more interesting. But obviously, I kind of get what she's trying to do. She's piggybacking off of Houston trip and where they had their little, time of resolving some issues, but not all issues. But so she's trying to take that spirit and bring it to her family. So we see Stormy and Courtney discussing, this fish fry that she wants to do with her family so she can try and sort out her mum and her auntie and get them to sort out their differences. I did think it was interesting hearing the mum speak about how she's looking after the dad and she feels like none of the siblings really help her out and her sister lives closest to her and now she's looking after the mum. She's in that same predicament where the sister's close to her but she doesn't feel like she's getting the care. So I always know when it comes to family stuff, it can be quite tricky, quite techie, do you know what I mean? Sorting that out. But anyway, we also see Mel pop in to see the Fletchers and they're doing a school book bag drive, which was a good thing. She's basically congratulating them on a good trip that they organised. Said it was better than the others. And they show some of the other clips of other trips. And it's always Martell, isn't it? It's always Martell with his big mouth shouting about something in the background. She said it's a good trip. And then she also lets them know that Martell wants to link up with her. We see Stormy arrive to her family link up, the fish fry, and the weather is really bad. Starts raining. As soon as she grabs her mum and aunt to talk, I was like, this isn't a good sign. They relocate and go to somewhere where they can have the conversation. And, Stormy's trying to get the mum and the aunt to speak and get the mum to ask what she needs to move things forward. It was interesting to see because it just looked like, there's a lot of family there. We don't know half the characters because I'm like, well, how is it the last episode of the season and now we're seeing all these random characters? Like, make it make sense. It did feel a little bit like disjointed, a bit like the Bell Collective as well. It was a bit disjointed. Like, Carlos, what's going on? Maybe pay attention to your shows and not doing so much with everybody else's shows. Make sure your shows are running smoothly. Anyway, so basically in the conversation we get to understand that Stormy's mum wants her sister Lisa to try and look after their mum at least one weekend out of the month. And that doesn't sound like an unreasonable request, especially as she said that she did look after their dad too, before he passed. So the aunt doesn't seem like she's down with it because she talked about her man. He works like away out of town. And so, if she's off that weekend and he's back, she wants quality time with her husband. Stormy mom's talking about she wants quality time with her hubby too. So there's, back and forth. But in the end, they didn't even hug it out. I think she agreed to try and help out once a month. But she went off. She didn't want to hug nobody. I was just like, this family, we don't know much about you guys, apart from that one scene with your mum and the auntie and now this scene. So I feel like we needed to get a bit more of an intro into the family a bit more. But anyway, I thought it was interesting when Stormy was trying to get them to open up and talk and her mum said that she felt abandoned. That was the word that she used. Her aunt seemed to get a bit defensive towards that. But, in the end, she, like I said, she kind of agreed to try and help out with the mum a bit more. Now, moving forward, Mel meeting up with Martell. Now, Martell bringing Mel flowers, I just thought, okay, this is interesting because you can see Mel, I feel like she's still hurt about, things that have happened. And I think, that's fine. They were married for a very long time, so we can't tell her when to get over her feelings, right? But Martell is also like a champion gaslighter as well, right? So he brings the flowers. She says it's a nice gesture, but it's inappropriate, because she's like, aren't you dating Sheree? That made me laugh. I was thinking, no, I'm sure that's not happening no more. And he was like, no, he's single, and she says, well, she's dating. I was thinking, yeah, that's right, honey, get that out there. And he's like, yeah, I'm happy that you're dating. I thought, I don't believe you. And by the look of your face, your face doesn't believe you either. But anyway, he makes me laugh because he's come with this whole, he wants to have peace. He doesn't want to, ruin the co-parenting and how, he thinks that they're getting on better now. mentions that Chris told him that she didn't really feel protected in a relationship and he wants to apologise for that. And Mel's just sitting there looking confused, like, what the hell is this ninja talking about? This is what she looks like. And then, you know, I thought it was interesting because he's talking like they're at peace and everything's cool. And I'm like between last week and this episode, I don't know how they work out their filming schedule, but the last time that I saw Martell on the screen, and if this is going in order, you were shouting in the woman's face, accusing her of cheating, shouting at Nell, trying to say that everyone's taking your side. So where is this peace? Where is all this everyone getting on better stuff? Because I'm like, is he in the same realm that we're in? Is he here on Earth? What is going on? Like, I just don't understand what's going on with this man, because my face is probably just as confused as Mel's, right? Anyway, he's saying that, you know, he wants him to be in a good place and he doesn't want to bring any harm to her. I'm like, this is bad. This is not really good, because obviously she says, you know, stop gaslighting her. And, you know, she feels like it's the most gaslighty conversation because they're actually not in a good place and they don't talk besides, you know, sorting out the kids. And then she obviously throws up and brings up the situation with Nell, where he was just arguing with Nell about her just a few days ago. So I can get that. Now, watching it does seem like Mel is defensive, but I can see why she is defensive, because look how many tricks and games the man has played. Not only did he cheat on you for years, you took him back and got back with him, he goes and has an outside child. And, you know, I just feel like I feel like he's a Jekyll and Hyde. Like, he's forgetting all the things that he's done to her. He's tried to do revenge porn on her. He's tried to take her to court. He's done a lot of things to really upset her as well. So I feel like you just made it worse and worse with each move that you made. And now you want to undo it all. I just think it's absolutely crazy. Like I said, I think the man is a Jekyll and Hyde. He's just a madman. Like, what is going on out here? And she talks about him being an agent of chaos and saying that he needs to grow. And she says to him that basically, you know, they won't be in a peaceful situation. It just won't happen. He's talking about he's trying to wave the white flag. She feels like he's been trying to wave the war flag, the red flag. So I'm like, this isn't good. Because she's talking about he's doing other things behind the scenes, and that really he's declaring war. So she really declared him. She really read the man down. Okay, I was cracking up because I feel like Martell, I've said it many times, I feel like he's delusional. He has delusional behaviour. I mean, he actually said if he knew that it would take such a toll on his life and would ruin his life, you know, then he wouldn't have done that. I'm like, so you cheated repeatedly for years and you didn't think that's going to have an impact on your life. Maybe you've watched too many other shows where, you know, other women have taken back their men and you think that they're going to that's Mel. That's not what you've got, you know? And maybe you should have done better. The first time you got caught, maybe you should have stopped it then. But no, you went back and you kept going back and then you end up with a child. So, you know, the outside child, I believe, was the straw that broke the camel's back, as in Mel's back. And I feel like that was the ending of all endings. But I think it's interesting now that he's in this process of regretting it, but whilst also expecting her to just move on and you know, forgive him because he's okay with it. But I think he's forgetting that he really embarrassed this woman. He broke her heart and he embarrassed her. So the public humiliation that she went through, the embarrassment, and then the fact that you've gone on top and done the things after that, I'm not surprised it's kind of a rocky road for you guys to get to a nice patch. Because I feel like there was a time when you guys were getting there. Wasn't there a trip they went on before and they were like, you know, trying to co-parent and went on holiday together with the kids so that they could have a nice holiday. And then after that, he started acting up and doing more stupid stuff. So at this point, I feel like Martell has nobody to blame but himself. I felt like, you know, it's interesting because I feel like he really wants her back. I feel like she still has some love there for him, but most of it has turned to a lot of disdain. Because he was talking about they had a good marriage and, you know, she's just like, yeah. He's still wearing a ring that she bought him back from 2008 and she's asking her about it. He's talking about he's trying to manifest. I'm like, this guy is hilarious. You broke her heart, you cheated, you had an outside child, you tried to do revenge porn, you tried to do all this court stuff. You've done a lot of mess, talking crap about her to everybody, anyone that will listen, on social media, all over the place, in interviews. And now you're like, oh, well, you know, you're being difficult. It's just like, okay. Mel was like, well, I've got a flight to catch. And yeah, she weren't really here for the nonsense. And you could tell that he was definitely upset about it, because she did look very good. You know, she turned up looking very hot, and I know she did it on purpose. I do not blame her. She turned up looking good just so that he can know what he let go. But yeah, it's a hot mess. I feel like Martell is a hot mess, and he's got to do a little bit more growing. It's just giving madman. You know, he talks about the marriage was good. It wasn't all bad. Well, of course it wasn't all bad, but you're the one who stepped out in your marriage. It wasn't Mel. So you really have yourself to blame. You know, it just made me laugh. I feel like you just want her back. And now you think that she's trying to make you look horrible, and she's trying to make you look this way. And it's like, you always turn it into the Martell show. So that's part of the growth that you need to do as well. So good luck to you, sir. But that scene to me was quite interesting, because I feel like I do hope they get to a place where they can co-parent easily. It sounds like they are co-parenting, but I mean in a peaceful way, where they can be kind of, you know, semi-cordial with each other. But I don't know that it'll go back to how he wants it. I feel like he wants his old thing back, and she is like, peace, I'm out of here. Plus, you never ever hit my G-spot, so what are we doing here? Anyway, on to Kimmy and Maurice. She organised a date night and was saying that, you know, saying basically thank you to him, and, you know, for being there for her, and that he didn't sign up for this. And I was like, pause, wrong. Of course he signed up for this. In marriage, what do you say? In sickness and in health, honey. So he signed up for it. So I was glad that Maurice did say, actually, yes, I did sign up for it. You know, and saying that, you know, she's basically just giving her gratitude that he was always there for her, and he's been there for her. And she surprised him with her boudoir photo shoot that she done, and shows him her little sexy pics. And of course, you know, he's super excited about it. And she did look lovely in them as well. And she was also sharing that, you know, she found it really hard. It affected her libido, as we know, and how it affected her mental health, just not feeling herself, not looking like how she was, you know, used to looking. So, yeah, I thought the pictures was really sweet. They looked like they had a nice little cute date night. Then you've got Tisha and Marsau now. Of course, Tisha made me laugh, because Tisha wants her house sorted. Obviously, she's living in a temporary place at the moment, renting, while he's working on their house and working on the office, and working on hotels and working on all these other projects that he's got going on, which is great for business. But obviously, she's feeling like she's not being put first in any of the projects. So it just made me laugh, because when she's asking him about it and saying, you know, what's going on with it, and she starts shouting at him, and I was like, where is this Tisha coming from? Because I'm liking this turn up Tisha. Yes, turn up his Ross, because he takes a picture, been sitting around too docile for ages. But you could tell that what got to her is that whole Houston conversation about, you know, the whole cheating thing, and if she was pregnant. Because she tells him, you know, that he really hurt her feelings. Of course, he then spins it on her and says, like, well, you're gaslighting me because I'm actually the one that's hurt. And then she's like, well, you're making it about you. You know, she's saying that, you know, if you're saying that, you're basically saying you don't trust me. He's saying that he don't trust anybody. So she says, without trust, we have nothing, right? And I was like, yes, Tisha, tell him straight to the point. This is a Tisha I want to see more of, okay? And it made me laugh, because when he asked her, oh, well, you know, have you cheated? Have you cheated on me before? She just said, you know, I can't answer that question. And I said, good. You're using his own words against his backside, because he's full of shit. He gave you the answer, and clearly you didn't like the answer because it's stuck in your brain. And now you're like, yeah, anytime he comes to that bullshit, I'm going to spin it right back on his rascal. And I'm glad that she did. But yeah, I also feel like these guys are doing a little bit of extra acting going on, because we're not really hearing what's going on, because I'm hearing that there's all kinds of alleged, you know, lawsuits and things happening with their companies, and we're not hearing about that. So I feel like there's more that's not being divulged. So this to me feels a little bit like a bit of a distraction. But could also potentially be true, but it's giving a storyline for me. But I'm glad that she's actually standing up for herself. The reunion highlights look like Tisha is on smoke. I'm like, who is this, Tisha or Tyson? Like, what's going on? Because she's coming through with some shots for everybody, it looks like. So, including Stormy, including her cousin, outing her cousin. So we will see how that all goes. But yeah, I feel like this episode was alright. It felt a little bit rushed together towards the end in a bit. Particularly with the Tisha and Marsau scene, because I was like, well, why are we not seeing more of what they're doing and hearing more about what they're doing? They're working on quite a lot of different projects. Yeah, again, I feel like Carlos, you know, get back to focusing on your projects. I know you like to cover all the other ones, but let's make sure your projects are flourishing. But what did you guys think of the actual show itself? Was you impressed? What did you think of the whole Martell Mel situation? At this point, I think we're all over it because they've been going back and forth for years. It's been, 3 years or so now since they split. Do you think she was too harsh with him, or do you think it's actually justified given the fact that, you know, the way he's acted over the years? So maybe she's just over his BS. What did you guys think? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.